Hi, I'm Randy Altman. We're here at SMPTE Day 2. I have Marc Zorn from HBO. And Marc is an expert in, I would say, cybersecurity. And you're also on the SMPTE Conference program panel for the show. And today you moderated two panels about cybersecurity and blockchain.
Yes.
First, let's start. Everybody wants to talk about blockchain. Let's talk about blockchain, what it is, and how it can help with security.
Okay. You're right. Everybody is talking about blockchain, and mostly because they're trying to figure out what it is.
Yes.
And the way I often describe it is it's a stream of data that is put together in a way that once the data is written, if you make any changes to it, the whole stream falls apart because it's checkpointed along the way, so that if you make a change, all of the checkpoints break.
So nobody could actually, the minute somebody touches it, it disappears and they can't get...
Well, the minute anybody changes any of the data, then the links connecting the blocks don't work any longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you see blockchain helping in security within the M&E industry?
Well, one of the biggest problems, actually, let's start with some of the misnomers, because that's kind of the elephant in the room, is that a lot of people associate blockchain indelibly with Bitcoin.
Yes.
And cryptocurrency. And so, unfortunately, Bitcoin is built on blockchain as one of the building blocks, but there are so many other pieces to the way that is put together that people assume that blockchain equals Bitcoin, and that's not the case. So blockchain is really more that simple method of stringing the data together in that way that can't be changed without everybody knowing it. So the advantage to that for the media industry is that we are looking for use cases where that attribute or that method is an advantage. And when I say we're looking for it, we really haven't found it yet. We don't know exactly what we're going to do with blockchain for the media and entertainment industry, because it's a new way of looking at communicating data, and we're not sure if it's the right tool for the job yet, or we're not sure exactly where we're going to go with it.
Well, it's still early days, I imagine, and it's got the potential, but not there yet.
Not there yet. And there is a lot of potential, and people are still trying to figure out, okay, why would we want to use it? And I use the analogy of, well, we found a nice shiny hammer and now we're looking for nails, and unfortunately we haven't found the nails yet.
Okay, and who else was on the panel, and what were they talking about?
Well, so I moderated two different panels. One was about blockchain. We had three different sets of speakers, and one was talking about the financial part of the industry and how do we utilize blockchain almost like cryptocurrency for media and entertainment. And so, unfortunately, it reinforces this misnomer that it equals cryptocurrency. I mean, obviously, that's the more mature case, but that's not the only case. The second one was talking about all the different digital asset management ways that we can communicate data or transfer with a collaborative group in a way that everybody knows all the transactions that are happening, but instead of exchanging money, they're exchanging image and sound data or scripts or ancillary data that goes along with production. But the way that they're doing it is they're exchanging it so that if I'm sending it to you or sending it to a group of people, everybody knows what was sent, and if anybody changes it without everybody knowing it, then blockchain falls apart. So there's potential there.
Yes.
But again, it's a case of, once we build it and we know it works, then we can point at it and go, okay, that was the right tool for the job. But until we do that,
right,
it's still kind of, well, what do we do? What do we do?
Sure. Well, we were talking before we started about how more and more is going into the cloud, and how studios are changing the way that they work, and what can they do, and what are they doing now to sort of protect their data?
So the traditional model of centralizing the data and then building a wall around it, so you're putting all of your data in a data center, well, that's changing radically as we're involving more and more parties in the creative process. There's a big push to put it in more of a public forum and a more open, collaborative environment, and that usually means the cloud. And so the way we protect the data, instead of protecting the environment where the data lives, we're changing the way that the data is put together so that it kind of protects itself. And what I mean by that is that we're incorporating things like encryption or digital signatures or things that make it so that we can freely exchange the data, and only the people that know how to unlock it will be able to use it properly. So,
okay.
yeah, I mean, it sounds very complicated, but it's actually not that complicated. It's just that we have to shift the way we think about the data and how it's handled. So instead of managing the environment, we're managing the format of the data.
Gotcha. And in the early days of the cloud, I know that people were a little nervous.
Well, they should still be nervous because the cloud is generally computing out on the internet. It's kind of anonymized. You still need to build in all of the security controls in this public environment. So they should still be worried.
Yeah.
Well, worried is not the right way, but they just need to take the same steps that they would if they needed, or if they were hosting it themselves.
Okay. Before I let you go, any tips for people that are building a studio or starting to put stuff into the cloud, and just any concerns, any tips?
I guess do your homework and
Yeah.
realize that just because it's in the cloud doesn't mean that you're off the hook. So the tip is really understand the environment and the relationships of the people that are handling the data, and take the necessary steps. So you need to really understand the environment. There really are never going to be any shortcuts. And so if we're thinking of the cloud or blockchain or any sort of particular technology to be a panacea, it's just never going to be that way. And so the tip is do your homework.
Gotcha. Okay.
I hate to say that.
No, makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by and sharing some information with us. And
Thank you.
And cheers.
Cheers.